Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we have got an update on my usage in every eyeshadow challenge. I can't remember what I've actually called this. I think some may call this the no pan left behind challenge, but I named it something different when I started doing this. Anyway, I started this in 2021. I think I used 74 different eyeshadows in 2021 to 2022, and then 2022 to 2023 I've used about 34 or so I've definitely halved my usage, and that definitely shows, because I mean, I'm not too surprised at that because I don't wear makeup as regularly as I did in the first year of doing this challenge. So what this challenge is basically I have an eyeshadow palette, singles, literally every single eyeshadow I own. I've got in a column in my spreadsheet, and I have got a random number between 1 and 10 next to those eyeshadows, and I have to use those eyeshadows, whatever that random number is, and then go on to the next one. So the goal is to basically use every eyeshadow in my collection. I started this in 2021, and the purpose of this is to show you guys my update and how I've been doing this past year with this challenge and where I'm up to, and yeah, just see how I'm getting on with this challenge. This is definitely a background challenge, and it's definitely running alongside all my other projects. My idea is that every time I wear makeup I have to use this eyeshadow. I have actually done that. Every time I wear makeup I use an eyeshadow or the eyeshadow that's rolled in as part of the challenge and wear it. And I keep the tally on my spreadsheet, so I am accountable doing that. So where I left off at the end of this last year, in July of 2022, when the first year ended, I was working on this. This is my Revolution Flawless palette, and I was on the eyeshadow called Highlight, which is this shade up here. It is this shade up here, so it's the fourth one in. So I was here, and it took me the rest of the year up until March of 2023 of this year to go through the other eyeshadows on here. It took me such a long time, and that is a mixture of having a random number being quite high. There were a lot of 8, 9s and 10s, and also the fact that I wasn't wearing makeup as regularly as I was in the first year that I was doing this. So it took a massive hit, and yeah, it took me literally until March. So then after I used this eyeshadow, I moved on to the next eyeshadow. I should also mention I have it in a list of my oldest to newest, so these are all my oldest eyeshadows I'm working on first, and then we'll go down until my newest. So then after I worked on that one, I had rolled in this Bella Pierre Cosmetics powder eyeshadow. I don't really want to show it too much because it will fall out, but it looks like this kind of. It's a bluish grey, I would say. Anyway, I rolled this in, so this was in March, and then shortly after that I also rolled in this. This is my mask eyeshadow in the shade 50 Shades. I think at that point I was collecting 2 different beauty boxes, and I think that month they both had eyeshadows like this. So these are very similar. This is also a grey shade. This is definitely less blue though, but it's definitely grey. That you can understand why 50 Shades is its name. So I had this also rolled in March. Then we move on to April, and I had rolled in this little trio. This is my Peach Parfait eyeshadow trio by Pop Beauty. So they look like this. That took me through the first half of April. Then we had a couple of more singles. We had this Stila Comics Gold, which is this glittery gold shade. I don't really like wearing this because it's very difficult to use. You kind of have to use it with like, you have to like wet it, and like there's a certain, it's not glue, but anyway, you have to use that with this to make it like stick. It's not my favourite, but I did roll this in. It's nice, but not really my favourite. Then we rolled in this. This is the Burberry Solo eyeshadow in Golden Copper, which looks like this. So then with those two solo eyeshadows combined, that took me to the end of April, and then on the 1st of May I rolled in this. This may look exactly the same as the first eyeshadow palette I showed you, but it is different. This is the Revolution Flawless Matte eyeshadow palette, so there's a difference. That one's not matte, this one is matte. This one only contains matte eyeshadows. It looks like this. And that was in May, and we are now in July, and we've only managed to get up to Shell, which is this shade here. We've only managed to get up to Shell, which is this shade here, so we've only managed to use the 5 eyeshadows. And I'm guesstimating with how long it took me to complete the flawless version of this. I'm probably going to be working on this throughout the year up until probably at some point next year. There are a few eyeshadows in here coming up that have like a random use of 10 uses. There's like 3 or 4 of them, and there's also some that are quite high up, so it's going to take me a while. The idea of this project began because I started project planning, and then I was like, but then I'm not giving love to any of my other eyeshadow palettes that I'm not working on during those months. So I was like, how can I do that? How can I give love to all of my eyeshadows? So I thought, okay, you know what? I'm going to just go through every single eyeshadow I own, give them a random number between 1 and 10, and use them that amount of time, and that is me giving my love to it. Funnily enough, there is obviously a chance before I get to an eyeshadow in this challenge that I'll have finished it. That's already happened, I think, twice in this project so far, that there's 2 eyeshadows upcoming that no longer exist because I finished them. So that's quite exciting to know, like my list is getting shorter, so who knows how long it will actually take, but I am guesstimating I've got like 500 or 600 eyeshadows, so it's going to take me a long time. I'm on year 2 now. I reckon it's going to take me like 5 or 6 years to get through this. Like, not even kidding. I think it's going to take me a long time, and this is definitely a project that I'll be working on even if I stopped project planning, like any of the other projects that I'm doing. This is definitely a project I would continue alongside my Pan That palette and a pan and everything. I think these would be the 3 projects that I would continue if I didn't do Pan Those eyeshadows, project pan, or deco panning. I resolved to just doing these because they are like more long-term projects rather than short-term. So yeah, that's kind of like how I feel like I'm probably going to do things going forward. With my lack of wearing makeup, I think it's better to do long-term goals than short-term. That is it. That is my update. That is how far we've got. I have done half the amount of progress I made last year, but again, don't know if that's quite down to usage goals or my lack of wearing makeup as often. I haven't actually done a whole tally of how many uses I've had versus this year and last year. Yeah, I'm enjoying doing this project. It's quite nice. I've gone through a few of these different eyeshadows now, and I'm like, oh, I forgot how much I loved that eyeshadow. But we're still very high up in the list. There's still a lot more to come, and I'm going to do this on a yearly update every year. So I guess let's see how we are in July of next year. If I think about it, so July last year I was on that eyeshadow, right? In the matte in the flawless one. I reckon I'm in the same position here where highlight was. I think highlight was the 4th one and we're on the 5th one here. And that took me up until March to do. So if I take that into account, I reckon that this is going to also take me up until March, because it's the same amount of eyeshadows, but then it kind of depends how many uses they've got on each eyeshadow. I'm gonna guesstimate that I'll be on this until March. I think we're gonna be on here until March, because that would make sense when I compare it to the Flawless palette. So there we go, that is my year 2 update. I'm okay with the progress. I'm not too surprised that it was slower. I'm trying to force myself to wear makeup more regularly. It's just, I work from home, and working from home, I just don't feel the need to wear makeup every single day for work. So I need to kind of push myself out of my comfort zone and get myself back. Well, not push myself out of my comfort zone. I just need to kind of go into the mindset of wearing makeup on days when I don't need to wear makeup, because I only really wear makeup these days if I need to. If I film a video, or if I'm going out of the house. Those are pretty much the only 2 reasons, really, is why I wear makeup. So I need to kind of get back into the mindset of project planning and be like, okay, I need to wear makeup to complete these things. But I'm not quite there yet. Anyway, that is my update. That is what I've got for you guys. I will see you guys in my next video. Right, bye. I'll see you on Sunday, because I'm not uploading on Fridays. Bye, guys.